because the music was just too new to be taken in all at once. Ingenuity is falsehood. Order interrupted by disorder. Violated patterns cause riotous outbursts. The rites of spring, only sweet now because we know them, have come to love the discord. And so the metamorphosis occurs. Order restored by the sweet, loving grace of familiarity. Ensconced in well-worn neural pathways, originality a fashionable obsession. Well-heeled in shit-kicker boots, a tribal orgiastic celebration of the freedom to be trapped by environment. Taken, thrillingly thrust against the wall and pounded by the same tribal beats we have known since conception. And there's the rub. The grand difference we seek, a fundamental denial of this beautiful reflex. Instinct calling out in sonorous oration, advocating destruction of the new. Assimilation by osmosis, meaning yields to repetition. Until, in a final, taunting pirouette, the exotic collapses inward and implodes upon itself in a fumbling, exhausted mess of banal carnality. Tissue paper thin. There is no dignity in this reducing. Arms that once bulged, then stretched, corded steel flashing, woven gristle, wrapped taut. Too thin, he has become easily bruised. Sandpaper hands, once proof of honesty, slough into trembling gossamer. He expected his knees, even the hips. The hands, though. The hands could not be trusted, fumbled their 30 pieces. Silver-tongued testimony, they tapped a staccato song in the air, the sign language of betrayal. Their 10 fool tongues wagged at him, mocking the effort. Still, they would not be, were hurried, tiny dances, each to their own song, each lying to the music, each hoping to fool the band. False prophets, jitterbugged crazily, remembered the dance, bowed, courted, agreed, finally, to tie the knot. The chair struck the white carpet, its perfection marred only by the pendulous shadow. All 10 Judas, finally silent. So I'll tell you the story behind this one because we've got time. This guy at my work went to let his dog out, and his dog was barking and making a hell of a racket, and he went out to check it out, come to find out that a woman across the street had gone into his backyard and given birth to a baby and left it there. And his dog found the child, and they were able to save the little guy, and you know, he was given the keys to the city, and so the dog was actually given the keys to the city, which I thought was great because he didn't do a damn thing, right, except for show up and brush the dirt off of the little guy. The dog was really the one who took care of business in this particular instance. But I wrote this on it. Chaste. She labored silently. Tiny grunts pulled inward with the efforts of this expulsion. Exposed, she hid in the stillness of early dawn, screamed, tore mourning doves from the air, stuffed them into her mouth, rent the sky with her cries, made not a sound, pushed from instinct. Her body would do this without her, had declared the time was right, battered down the door. She clenched the outstretched hand of the father, felt his grip in return, firm, reassuring. She was alone. For at least the second time in so many months, hoping to be caught, straining to be heard in her silence, pushing toward release. She bit down on regret, pressed until her brown eyes burst, delivered unto the leaves and twigs a voice, mewing its tiny protests. These she would not silence, had brought nothing to wrap the child in, staggered to her feet, braced herself against the back of the garage, bent, whispered his name, said nothing.
If somebody wants a copy of that poem, where could they get it?
I believe that particular poem is published by Exact Change Press in Exact Change only. Volume 2. So all right, well, I'll read one that's published in Exact Change only, Volume 1, published by Exact Change Press. Folded $300 Damascus slipped, touched for a moment a calloused palm, rested finally against bone. She didn't notice. She cut strawberries, cubed cantaloupe, mixed the brightly colored summer treats, careful not to bruise them. Faintly, firecrackers, black cats, bottle rockets, charred paper bits announced the holiday. Tiny bombs burst the air. She does not blink. Home, 1,000 miles from eyes that will not meet hers, whose palms, sweaty with guilt, press bills into her own, paw furtively. Hope long abandoned to echo silently in hungry mouths, wrapped in blankets, thrown in dumpsters. It is Independence Day. It is never Independence Day.